WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
You're building the empire,
and we'll help you protect it.
Because even the most powerful women
still have trust issues.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trust Issues. Yes. I am Erica Hall, the financial lady. I'm a financial advisor. I think all things financial, and I'm here with my girl.
Yes. Urenia Ricks Johnson. I'm an attorney, and I think all things law.
Right.
So everything connected to the law, I'm your girl. So yes.
Listen, you are working to build that empire, and we are working to help you protect it.
That's right.
So this is Trust Issues. We're all about talking about the things that can help you have some trust issues. I love to play on the word. Today episode is called, it's about family fund. The family fund. Where'd you learn about money?
From family.
Really?
A lot of it I've learned from my family, but then after that, what not to do, what to do. You know, my family, my parents didn't complete like high school or anything like that, so they were just really that middle class family. But they just taught a lot of things about right now, making sure that you have enough to carry things on, but not really about like the savings part of it. I really didn't learn about like the savings and making sure that I had a fund set up and things like that. It was just secure the bag right now. Make sure you got things taken care of right now.
Yeah.
That was their thing. It was almost like survival mode. Just make sure that you got things together right now, but not too much in the future that we kind of planned for. So I had to learn that from other resources.
Yeah. So whatever they did a great job, because you are a hustler, girl.
You know,
you hustle.
Yes.
You know, and for me, my family always pushed being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Being an entrepreneur, multiple streams of income, and learning how to don't just go out there and get a job, but learn how to build a business.
Right.
Yeah. Learn how to build a business.
Yeah, that was the opposite of me. My family, parents were auto workers, so it was like get you a good job at the plant, and try to manage it, so you can take care of your family. You know,
I know that's right. So family, financial safety net. So today we're going to talk about when the family becomes your financial safety net. Your going into business with your family. I mean, sometimes did you even rent to your family, or is it a big liability? What you think? Navigating money, that loyalty, boundaries with the people who are closest to you. You know, can it like mess up the family dynamics?
I think it can.
Know, what you think?
I think it can, but I think it can work in certain situations as long as there's some clear understanding. But I think a lot of times we bring in our dynamic of the family as opposed to try to handle it as a business.
Yeah.
And I think that it can be successful if you handle it as a business.
Yeah.
I've seen it be successful for certain people, but then I've seen other disasters.
Yeah. I think it's hard for people, you know, in your family, or it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for people to overcome that family relationship, those boundaries of, come on, mom, you know, look out, you know, this month I'm kind of, or just, you know, that family member that never bring you back your change.
Never.
Or just because we're family, I know you got me, right? So you love them, but should you borrow from them, or should you allow them to borrow from you, or should you go into business with them,
or should you just keep it as well? Whatever I give them, I can bear to part with it.
That's anybody.
That it's not going to affect my relationship, and people have to understand if you're not going into it where you're thinking that it will affect your relationship down the road, you got to be able to decipher whether this is a loan or a gift. And we're going to talk about that too.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. This is where mindset meets money and legacy meets loyalty. Today we are unpacking this messy but necessary conversation. What you say?
Yeah, it's messy but necessary, but we're going to get into it. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so this letter is from a person that says, my mother helped me buy my first home.
Okay.
Which is not uncommon.
Yeah.
She's on the deed, but I've paid the mortgage alone for 5 years.
Yeah.
Now that I'm engaged, now I'm moving on in my life and I'm trying to refinance, she refuses to sign off unless she gets a payout.
On the house?
On the house. She wants a payout. So she wants it to be refinanced, but she wants a payout.
Okay, wait. So her mother helped her buy her first house.
Mother helped her buy her first house, but the house is just in the mother's name. So it's just on her. She's the only one on the deed, which is
so it really ain't her house.
Itself. You see it. You see where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
You see where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
So she's on. That's the first thing. Red flag. She's on the deed. She didn't say that we both were on the deed, which would have provided a little bit more assurance. But she's on the deed. So mom is on the deed, but I've paid the mortgage alone for 5 years.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, but originally this was presented as a gift. A gift. Okay. So yeah, this is tough. So yeah, but not uncommon. So a gift is a gift, but do they have it does she have it in writing? What is the law on that?
That's the thing. That if you have unpacked it where you have stated certain things, because now you're expecting the court to get into the heads of this family. Yeah. And ideally, the court doesn't really want to be involved. I think people think, okay, that's what court is for. But really, ideally, when it comes to family issues, church issues, I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. Yeah. The court does not like to be involved in those things.
Help us. Listen,
they do not.
You all into
They
Paul's letters into 1st, 2 Corinthians. He said we're supposed to handle our business on our own. So how do we handle this without having to go to court?
Without having to go to court, because that should be the first thing. If you know, the Bible talks about live peaceably with all men, if you can. Yeah. you know? Yeah. So from that perspective, a lot of times the courts, I've been involved in certain court situations where the judge is just like, why are we here? Yeah. I mean, the judges actually said, like why are we here? Like, y'all couldn't handle this
before coming before me?
Yeah, that's the reason why they send a lot of things to mediation to try to see if we can get an independent person. But the first thing with this letter is the fact that even when it's a mother-daughter, mother-son situation, it's always good to have things in writing. This is what we intended when we came into this. Yeah, yeah. You know, we intended for this to be, I will give you this gift, you know, for $50,000 or $20,000 to buy your first home. This is my gift to you. Yeah. Right?
Does it, so does it say how old she is?
You know, it doesn't say how old, but now she's moving into engagement. So it's probably, she may have been younger. That's the reason why the mom was just like, okay, let me put the deed in my name. Yeah. You know, from that perspective. And, you know, we'll settle later. But I just want to make sure that you are secure, you are safe. Right? Okay. So a lot of times I'm thinking from a parent's perspective, they're thinking of the fact that I got you, you know, I'm giving you this because I want you to be secure. I want you to have your first home. I want you to understand. But I want you to be responsible enough to pay it. Yeah, so in this situation, she's done what she needs to do. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess everything that needs to be set forth needs to be set forth in writing, because people's minds change, people's situations change. On the financial side, when I think about it, it kind of sounds like some of the situations when I first started in business. Okay. And as a junior advisor, or, you know, just coming into the business, I had seasoned advisors who would bring me in, give me like a house, a book of business to work that book. And the book would, and then I would, they would give me a stipend or something like that would undergird me until I was able to build up my own practice. Okay. But we knew that going in. Right. We had that in writing. And that's kind of what it sounds like. We had it in writing. We had an agreement. Yes. Right? We had an agreement, because I've had some situations where, you know, I did so well that, you know, they kind of wanted to renege on some of the. But you had to be like, okay, it's on paper. But I had it in writing. Yep, I had it in writing. So I guess that's the key. Even if there is a relationship, even if there's a relationship,
people's minds change, situations change, and if you're in a different financial situation than when you were feeling giving, now when you were in a fat season, you gave, and then now you're in a lean season, you're rethinking, the things that you gave away, so that no matter how we are related or the relationship that we have, the document, the agreement covers those future what ifs.
Yes, it does. And in this situation, the thing about it is you have this deed that from the perspective, you record a deed with the world to pretty much to let them know that she's the owner. So as far as the world is concerned, the court is concerned, the mother is the owner.
Yeah.
So as far as the daughter, what she could do is possibly, if the mother's not willing to work with her, she could sue what is called in Michigan a quiet title action and request for the ownership to be established by the court. That's what quiet title means. It means to establish the interest and quiet all the other interests in the property. Right?
Wait, say that again?
So a quiet title action means that you want the court to establish the person that owns the property and quiet or silence the other interests in the property.
Okay,
that's why
quiet
it's called a quiet title.
Yes.
Right? So pretty much you want to quiet or extinguish or get rid of the other interests in the property, right?
Okay, yes.
But the problem with this is that she has no documents to back that.
Yeah.
And that would be a hard case in order to win on the daughter's perspective.
Okay.
Now, the best she could do would be to add another count in it for unjust enrichment. Basically, she's saying that she paid the fact that she paid the mortgage for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
She enriched the property or gave money to the mother who wants to still claim ownership.
Right.
So if she wants to still claim ownership, then I want the benefit of the fact that these 5 years, I had no obligation to pay the 5 years because if you're saying I don't have an ownership interest in it.
Right.
So you were unjustly enriched. You were enriched by the fact of not having to pay a mortgage for 5 years.
Right.
So I want that money back.
Right. Because then mom can't claim that, oh no, she's been paying me rent or paying, there's no rental agreement.
There's no rental agreement. So she can't say rent at that point. So she may have an action for unjust enrichment. But if she tries to refinance the property, the thing about it is the mother has to sign everything. There's nothing that she signs.
Yeah.
So if the mother is refinancing it, she has the best argument to say, well, hey, I can get some money out of this from a payout situation. So, but she may be able to do a countersuit for unjust enrichment in order to get some money back.
Okay. Man, I mean, depending on how much this property is worth, who wants to go through all of that?
Right.
Who wants to go through all that? So what we're saying is, in order to protect yourself, don't commingle personal assets unless you're ready to give up control.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Don't commingle personal. I mean, just like when you are starting a business, you want to keep everything separate. Buying a property is business. And now she's getting ready to enter into another business-like relationship by getting married.
Because she's engaged now, right?
Yeah. And I know that love is love, but business
is still business.
And I'm not being harsh about it, but the more you grow, the more you learn and have experience that love does not cover the law.
It does not.
Right?
It covers a lot. But
because love waxes and wanes, right? love waxes and wanes, but the law it's set aside to cover those sticky situations.
It does.
So
it handles the what ifs.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why the law is in place, in order to make sure that those what ifs are handled appropriately.
And come to think about it, that's pretty much how we enter when I'm working with someone and we're buying a contract or we're buying a product. Okay. The first thing we ask is, how much is it going to cost me? Right? And then number 2 is, how do I get out?
Right. What's my exit strategy?
What is it going to cost me to get in? And what's it going to cost me to get out?
That's true.
And when you first enter into these agreements or these contracts or products or whatever they may be perfect for where you are today. But life changes, situations change, feelings change, relationships change. And so you want to know, when my life changes, how do I get out?
Yes. And a lot of times people don't understand having those things and talking about those what ifs. So, had the daughter said, well, Mom, what if I get married? What are we going to do with this property?
Yeah.
Those are things, those are conversations, those are healthy conversations. She's young, thinking about the fact, okay, if I get married, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Type of thing, but all that could have been handled in an agreement, those what ifs. So now she's at a crossroads as opposed to having those tough conversations up front. She may have been a teenager at the time or just a young adult, probably not even thinking about marriage.
Right.
Because it said 5 years had passed. So, a lot happens in 5 years.
Yeah, we make assumptions
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
We do.
And we know what the assumptions do, but even outside of that idiom, it's wrong to assume that another person is thinking the same way you're thinking.
That's true.
Especially when it comes to assets.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes
assets. And I think people don't understand. They're just like, okay, this is a house. I've been living in the house. I've been taking care. I've been paying the bills. I've been doing those things. But what does the law say about what's happening with this house? Because like I said, even though the daughter's done paying the mortgage, paying those things, but obviously the mortgage has to be in the mother's name as well. So all these things as far as liability. So if the mother assumed liability as well. So what if the daughter said, hey, I don't want to pay the mortgage anymore?
Yeah.
Guess who would have to pay it or face foreclosure?
Yeah, because this is a conversation that took place between them, right? No one knows. And so it's just like if you co-sign for someone and they can't pay and you're on the hook. So yeah.
Yes.
So mom has been the what they say, the secure, the surety.
Secure party, yes.
Yeah. So that's where we are. So how would you advise them to get out of this without having to go to court?
I would say if they could come up with some type of an agreement.
Yeah.
Where it would, some type of purchase agreement.
Yeah.
Where she would maybe she could sell the property to the daughter at a reduced rate. So let's say the house is worth $150,000 and she gave it to her. She pretty much helped her to buy it. So from that down payment perspective, but the daughter is paid a certain amount as far as the mortgage. Maybe she could sell it to her for something within that difference.
Yeah.
Because she did give her a gift.
Okay.
So this not put it aside, the gift part of it, counting that.
Yeah.
So that would be credit.
Okay.
For the daughter.
Yeah.
But and the fact that she's paid the 5 years and then sell it to her for a certain amount. So then the mother could possibly get something out of it from that perspective based on what the value of the house is. Because of course, if it's appreciated in value, but just having that conversation up front would have helped to.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look at it from the mother's perspective too. Like she's like, well, I always planned for you to purchase the house from me. Like
that was the plan anyway, right?
That was always the plan, and she just never was clear. That daughter had her own, or the child had her own assumption of how things were going to work because you didn't really want your change back,
Right.
You didn't really want me to give you your money back, did you?
Mom is just going to give me the house because she gave me the down payment. So now that I'm engaged, why would she want some money out of this? Mom got her own. She probably thinking from the daughter's perspective, she probably thinking like, Mom, you got your money. You married, you got your money, you got your savings, you got your things together,
right?
So why do you need my house?
That is definitely the perspective of, because I felt that way. I felt that way when I was younger. Because you when you're young, you just feel like people. I don't have my stuff together, and I need help. I need support. Right. That is the position of it was mine when I was younger. Yeah. And I think that's the position. I mean, I have children, so I think that is the perspective that that we need help. We need support. So whenever there is something on the table, they're expecting for the parents to take the shorter end.
Yeah, and thinking now that, hey, I'm about to get married, I'm about to start my life. Don't you want to gift this to me and my husband?
Yeah. Do you think that's entitlement? Because I asked that question a lot.
But I also think that from the perspective, I think that our culture doesn't think about the fact of helping our children start off things. Yeah. You start a new life, new marriage, things like that. So a lot of times, a lot of marriages end in divorce based on financial issues, right?
Yeah.
So if you as a parent, if I could help to alleviate that and provide them with something for their first going into the marriage, that will help to alleviate. Not to say, every relationship is different.
Okay, yes.
So from that perspective, if we thinking about it from that perspective, then I would think that it wouldn't be necessarily be entitlement, but almost like a gift for me starting a new chapter in my life. So you thought that it was enough for me to buy my first home. That was a big accomplishment. But I'm thinking from the daughter perspective, like, okay, this is another next step for me.
Right.
So I need your support.
Right. Okay. So
is that entitlement?
Listen, okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, from both perspectives, because you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. You had to build. And you mentioned something very interesting and very, very I love to talk about it when we talk about our culture and what we do to start our families off. What happens when we come to the wedding, honey? I went to many, many, many weddings in my 20s and 30s. And, I was married young and I went to a lot of weddings. And I just thought that they were parties.
Right.
I thought they were parties. And it wasn't until I got into the financial industry and just, worked with different, was exposed to different cultures and how they handle money and who I studied with and who, I worked in a family office and just being exposed to a completely different perspective of what these things are. And so sometimes I can be matter-of-factly when I talk about marriage and the contract and it being you're entering into an agreement, a financial covenant, not just a marriage covenant, but there's a financial agreement that, right. And when the wedding takes place, so here's my conversation with my daughter when she's getting married and she's going through her invitation list and her heart is, I want to invite this person. Right. I want to invite that person. I said, well, can I share with you, darling?
Okay.
The wedding, you want to invite someone who's going to invest in your union. And she said, well, Mom, it's not just I'm expecting gifts and it's just not a financial thing. I said, I understand how you feel. But maybe that'll help you with your decision making because you're paying for plates.
That's true.
You're making your wedding reception is a thank you. It's a thank you for not only witnessing the union, but also investing, making an investment in this union. And I'm trying not to be harsh as I'm having the conversation with her, but I'm presenting to her a different perspective of how you want to look at that because you that's a big outlay.
It is, and weddings are very
It's
expensive.
not a party.
It's not, and people don't think about it from that perspective. But mine was the opposite. From that perspective, my mother, she had her own list of people that she wanted, her friends.
Yeah.
And so I had 2 receptions.
Oh.
So she paid for the people right after the ceremony because where I got married in downtown Detroit.
Yes.
There was a reception hall within the actual church.
Okay. Okay.
So for her friends, I had a reception. So you got 2 different invitations. So you had the one where we paid for the guests, where we had 200 guests that came to the regular reception. But then the people that came, because it was about 400 people at the wedding, right?
Right.
So the other people just came to the cake and punch reception. So we had cake, punch, hors d'oeuvres. So my mother's people, so she could show me off because I'm the only girl, right?
Yes.
So she wanted to have her own experience.
Yes.
So my parents, my mother and my stepfather, they at that point in time, they actually paid for that part of it.
Okay.
They were just like,
they wanted their
time.
And they footed the bill.
To shine.
Yes.
And they footed the bill and they said, hey, listen, We want our friends to come.
Right.
So their friends, they got the whole experience, and they got to take pictures. So I had to take pictures with all her friends. And do all of
God
that.
that you were open
because I was
participate,
because
to
I
do
already knew that I wasn't going to be able to pay for. I wasn't going to pay for the individuals, but when it came to the regular reception, it was the people that I knew was investing in our future.
Yeah.
That I knew.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That me and my husband knew that were invested in there. So we
I
had
don't think
kind
that's
of the both.
distasteful. Right. I don't think that's distasteful. I think that it's important. It's a perspective that we need to consider.
Right.
That it's not just the emotional and just with people that and inviting all their children and because again, these are plates.
Right.
These are plates, and there's something taking place that most people don't consider. And I'm saying this because I spent at least a decade going to singing at weddings and just going to party. Because I think
that's really what it was.
Thank you for inviting me to the wedding. And I did not realize, and the first few times, I probably didn't. I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I probably didn't take a gift.
Right.
I just showed up. I went to witness, and I went to the party.
Right.
I went to her wedding.
Right.
I didn't
and the
realize
after party was great.
It was the most fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah, it was the most fantastic thing. But I didn't realize the financial aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. In fact, I saw it as a big expense that, why would you do that when you getting ready to start your life together and all that kind of stuff. But that's because when you don't know any better, you have a certain perspective on things, and as we talk about this family fun, your family has a certain perspective on how things are supposed to work. And sometimes they don't make good financial sense.
That's true.
And they can leave you asset out. Because
asset out.
Yeah.
That's good. Yes.
Asset out.
Right.
Because you're trying to be you would rather save the relationship than try to recoup. What have you. So with that being said, I think
hindsight, let me tell you this hindsight though. Like if I had to do it all over again, just given everything that I would have just done, the hors d'oeuvres, cake and punch because that food was better. The ambiance was, even though I had it at a beautiful place from the reception perspective, but thinking about financially, if I would have just let my mom pay for just that, everybody really could have fit and came to that. I was just so bent on having this whole big elaborate other part of it, but financially, I think that it would have set up my husband and I a lot better going forward if we had a thought about it like that. Well, he was all for it. I was the one was just like, this is my wedding.
Tales.
And I wanted to be.
Fairy tales. That's the culprit.
And that's the culprit. I had this whole fairy tale in my mind.
Fairy tales. I listened to my daughter and my niece talk about how they've been planning their weddings since they were little girls. I'm like, where'd y'all get that? Well, I know where they got it from. I know where they got it from. And I remember her saying, my daughter saying to me, "Oh yeah, you and Daddy's y'all saving up for my wedding, aren't you?" I'm like, "Girl, where you get
right?
What
you talking about? Right?
Yes. And they believe that you have this wedding fund set aside
that you have just set aside, and my daughters believe that now too. But but it's just the fact that I just think about like hindsight. Like that whole day, just remembering everything and things like that happened that I could have pretty much just saved up. We could have just did everything there. We could have finished earlier. We could have just, it would have just helped us from the financial standpoint to start off a little bit better because we had spent a lot of money on that part of it, from the reception part of it, because that's the majority part of the money for your reception. I mean, for your wedding is the reception. You know so from that perspective, I would say if I had to do it all over again, I would have just done it.
Hindsight,
just that big party, just do a big party, have hors d'oeuvres, greet everybody, do everything there, because we had a whole program, but we could have just did it there.
And this is where I'm gonna settle here is this is why I believe it is like priceless to have an advisor. to have this disinterested third party.
Yes.
Saying, we don't have an emotional tie to right. Mm-hmm. And we can give you an objective perspective to say, okay, this is now you want, because I remember working when I did my trust or the family. Oh no, we did a family LLC.
Okay.
And we were working on the operating agreement. Mm-hmm. And the first on the questionnaire is, how do you dissolve?
Yes.
How do you dissolve? And of course, we're all like, you're so excited about going into business.
Dissolve.
No,
we're going about.
And I'm going into business with my family.
Mm-hmm. So there's no dissolution. We're gonna be in this forever, right?
Not dissolving means filing taxes every year on a business that may not be profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that may not be profitable or operating. And so, yes, you have to have that plan.
Those
you have
tough
to talk
conversations. Yeah.
Man, tough conversation. So this is going to be my takeaway from all of our series, and that is talking about having how do you get out? Having the tough
strategy.
Having an exit strategy. Having the tough conversations up front. So you don't have to deal with it later.
Yes. It's better to have, and what's our motto? It's better to have the conversation or have the documents and not need them.
Yep.
And need them and you don't got them.
Okay, so real talk, how to set financial boundaries with your family members. How to have these hard conversations. What would you say? Where would you start?
I would say, just like we're talking about, just have those conversations about the what is.
Yeah.
Right? Making sure that you have proper documents outlining whether this is a gift or a loan. Yeah. Making sure that you have the deed and the title, and then making sure that you say at the point, well, maybe I need to be on this deed, just for the standpoint of we're doing this together. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Or what's the plan? Are you trying to give it to me eventually? Then I need to be on the deed, or you could do what is called in Michigan called a ladybird deed, where you could have it where it will be owned during someone's lifetime, and then if something happens to them, then it goes to the other person.
Yeah,
so
I
you
think
can do
we're
it like that.
With that in our neighborhood,
right,
in our community.
Yep.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Promissory note. If it's a loan, have a promissory note.
Okay,
and then definitely have an estate plan. Have those trust agreements.
Yeah,
like that trust that outlines how you're going to be distributing things on a yearly basis. You get tax benefits and things like that by having a well-crafted trust agreement as well.
I think it makes you, the person who is initiating or who has the assets that are, I think it makes you that much more valuable in the eyes of the person that you're entering into this plan with, or the mom. Like if I'm looking at it from the mom's perspective, I think it creates that much more respect from your children, or from someone who is they're not in your position right now. It creates that much more respect because you actually protected both of you.
That's true.
You protected both, and it makes you responsible and accountable, and it doesn't make you the bad guy.
It does,
right?
Yeah.
You can just be like, look, here's how we agreed on this.
This is what we agreed to. Yes.
All right. So I had a couple things I wrote down, like some scripts, some like how to start the conversation. Okay.
Let's talk about it.
How about this? I value our relationship too much to let money come between us. So let's write this out so we're both clear.
Yes, that's good. That's a good conversation starter. Yes.
Right. Okay. I got.
Because you start off with, this is what I value, and I want to make sure you understand that this relationship means so much to me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Okay. I have one more.
Okay.
I appreciate your help.
Okay.
Let's make sure this is fair and documented so there's no confusion later.
That's good too.
How's that?
That's good too.
Okay.
And then also, I think saying something like that allows us to talk about, okay, well, what confusion do you think that may happen later? Or what do you think that I'm not understanding? It opens the door for conversation. So you want to have those conversations where it opens the door for what people are thinking, because you don't want to assume that they're thinking one thing and they are actually thinking something else.
Right. People are not in your head.
They're not.
People are not in your head. And this, how many people that do not know how to communicate. I was getting excited. that don't know how to communicate because they think that you're thinking the same thing that they're
you
thinking.
What I'm thinking?
Yeah, you think
you thinking what I'm thinking?
You know,
and I'm not.
No, we have different
I'm
minds. But we do know that we appreciate someone who is you're building, I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
How we build, we may come from different approaches. We may do it together, but at least we get to protect ourselves because life changes, attitudes change, emotions change, everything, health issues. It could be something that's out of your control.
Exactly.
You know? So,
and that's another reason why having, from the standpoint of if you have the agreement in place, let's say mom gets sick, and what was the ideal? So in that situation, so if you have siblings and God forbid the mother passes away, technically, if she doesn't have a estate plan in place, you all are entitled to the house, not just the daughter.
So many.
Not just the daughter. So that's the what ifs that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So even if you say, well, mom, you can own it during your lifetime, but if something happens to you, I want to make sure because I've been paying the bills on this that I receive this house.
Help me, help you.
Exactly.
Help me, help you. Help me not have to go through so much turmoil and trouble if anything were to happen. So this is why I say, as we close, why you need an advisor.
You need an advisor. You need an attorney.
You need the dream team.
Yes.
You need. I think that advisors are so they're so important because they help bring this perspective to whatever it is that you're working on. And it's, they can be objective. They can see sides that you don't see, and they ask the hard questions that you may not want to broach with your mother or with your children or whomever, or with your new spouse or whatever it may be. Things may be great now. So this is why we started this trust issues.
We did.
And if you have a story that you want to share, you don't have to list no names. You can just tell us the situation, just like this young lady did. Send it to us. You can send it to us on Reddit, Trust Issues Pod on Reddit, EU Trust Issues on Instagram, on IG. We'll read your story. We'll give you some financial insight.
Yes, we'll give you some legal insight.
Legal insight that can help you the next time you come into contact with this kind of situation. So if you've been in the family fund, loaning money, borrowing money, now's the time to protect it. And so even if you've entered into those kinds of situations, you can even midway stop, get an agreement in place, and protect yourself, protect your family.
Moving forward, we have this agreement. So this is my understanding now. At this point, so don't feel like if you've already entered into an agreement or this is your situation, they can still fix this. They can still fix this and hopefully still fix the relationship, because we're all about still preserving relationships, but yes, definitely securing the family fund as well.
Secure the bag. Yes. Until then, protect your bag, protect your heart.
Yes.
All right, we're signing off. Trust Issues. This is Erica Hall.
And Urenia Ricks Johnson.
All right, be blessed.
Be blessed.
Hey, my name is Joe Smith. I'm a filmmaker here in Detroit, and I watch WVTC and listen. Watch and listen. You got the eyes and ears, both.
Get ready, Detroit, because we're about to do it again. The GMWA Detroit chapter presents Women Impacting the World 2025. Join us for an unforgettable concert experience featuring Powerhouse 100-Voice Women's Choir under the direction of Evangelist Sandra Rose, along with Sheila Oden, Sherry Watson Robinson, and Teresa Youngblood. It's all happening Sunday, October 19th at 4 p.m. at Kadesh Baptist Church, 20361 Plymouth Road, Detroit. And that's not all. We're honoring two of Detroit's finest women, Reverend Dr. Jacqueline Nelson and Miss Linda Swanson, plus a special tribute to our GMWA Detroit Legacy member. And get ready, y'all, because this year's special guest is the incomparable Libby. Oh yeah, this is one concert concert you don't want to miss. Admission is absolutely free. Free will offerings will be collected. For more information, visit gmwadetroit.org. Be there and witness women impacting the world.
Listen, I'm here at Elmar's Furs. I need you to understand, if you can't get in the store, you can always shop online. And when you shop online, you want to make sure that you follow him on social media, on all social media. And if you're looking for the website, it's elmarfurs.com. Listen, Instagram, Facebook, we're looking for you. He's got sales, and he's got a payment option for you that's going to meet your very need. It's going to benefit you because you'll get in on the sales. So listen, make sure you come or visit us online, elmarfurs.com.
This is WVTC Detroit, your award-winning gospel internet radio station. We're bringing you the best in gospel music, live shows, and inspiring interviews. Like and share our page on Facebook and YouTube. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay connected. Your support helps us spread positivity and encouragement throughout the community. So whether you download our WVTC app, visit our website at WVTCDetroit.com, or join us on Facebook or YouTube, you will stay connected and entertained. Join our WVTC Detroit listener family today and tell your friends about us. Together, we can make a difference. WVTC Detroit, where gospel meets the community. Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.